4 letters. FFAH. FFAH. First F is forgive. Forgive. It's not how wrong you've been done, it's how you keep it. A small wrong can become huge. And unforgiveness is destroying our marriages. We've got to forgive our spouses. And because none of us are perfect, all of us offend, we hurt, we wound, and we've got to forgive and ask for forgiveness.
Amen.
A marriage without forgiveness can't last. It may continue on, but it doesn't last and have life in it. Forgiveness brings freedom, real freedom. That's the first F. See, I'm a fourth of the way there. The second F is focus. Focus. My marriage took a sag in the late 80s, and the sag was, there were certain things that I wished Carolyn would do, and I talked to her about them, and she wouldn't do them. And then there were certain things she did that I wish she didn't do, and I talked to her about them, and she said, I'll work on that. Never did. Never did. And I started focusing on that, making that my focus, and my marriage was drying up. And I'd gone to Pennington to see a man, and I was on my way back, and in my mind, I was just going through the list again, which had become a habit. And God spoke. There have only been 5 to 10 times where I knew God spoke, and it was there, and I knew what he was talking about. And he said, Daniel, if you would begin focusing on what your wife does, that you're glad she does, and start focusing on what she doesn't do, that you are glad she doesn't do, you'd have a new marriage, a new life. And I knew exactly what he was talking about, and I repented right there, driving home. And I did it. The rest of the way home, I started focusing on what she did. I was glad she did. And there were many things. And what she didn't do that I was glad she didn't do. And when I got home, I had a brand new wife.
Oh, praise God.
It's the same one I left. Hadn't changed a bit and never did. But I had a brand new wife. And the difference was my focus. My focus. None of us are perfect. And we need to focus on those things. The third one, and this is going to be less than 15. The third one, I had a man, I don't remember who the man was. It was somewhere in the early 90s. He told me, he said, Daniel, appreciate your wife. Look for every way you know how to appreciate her. And he said, if you do the best you can, and she goes first, the second she's gone, you're going to realize you didn't have a clue what you had. And so I worked on that. I heard what he said, and I did everything in my power. I never told Carolyn what I was doing, but she recognized it. She paid me back, she relished it. I did everything in my power to let her know I appreciated her. And let me tell you, the minute she passed away, I thought I was prepared, but it was like a kick in the gut I never knew existed. And I realized instantly I did not have a clue what I had. And men, appreciate your wives. Appreciate your wives. Wives, appreciate your husbands. And the fourth one happened after she had died. In fact, I was on my way to Tacoma, Washington to see Joey's 4th child that was born. And I was in the Atlanta airport, and my way of operating ever since I started walking across again was in airports or wherever, I just looked for a place to ask God, where do you want me to sit? And it was easy. There was only one empty seat in the Atlanta airport. And so I sat down, the man on this side was reading. There was a young lady on this side, and she wasn't doing anything but just staring out. And so I started talking to her. And as the conversation evolved, she told me, she said, I told her about the crosswalk, about Carolyn and all of this. And I asked her what she was doing. And she said, I'm in the Navy in Tacoma, Washington. She was flying to Tacoma as well. I'm in the Navy there. I just got married this last week to my husband at Fort Benning. We're both in the military. We've known each other a long time when we got married. And we just had our honeymoon. And then she broke down and she said, we just had our first fight. Said it was just horrible. Said it was just horrible, ugly. And she said all of a sudden, we were standing, and all of a sudden, he was on his knees in front of me saying, honey, please, let's don't do this. I don't want this. I don't understand you. I need you to help me to understand. I don't understand. Please help me understand. And she said all of a sudden I was on my knees saying the same thing to him. And I thought, God, that's it. Humility. Humility. We've got to have humility in our marriages. And if we will humble ourselves before each other, life can flow. And God says he gives grace to the humble. And every one of our marriages needs the grace, the oil of God in it. And as we humble ourselves, he will do it. Forgive, focus on the right things, appreciate, and have humility.